Good morning and welcome to day number 2 of the Heartland Conference Tournament here inside the park at St. Mary's University. This morning's matchup will feature the number 1 ranked team in the Heartland Conference, the St. Mary's Rattlers, and the number 2 team, the St. Edward's Hilltoppers. I'm Brian Magliuan, bringing you this game. And as we start at top of the first inning, to lead off the first inning, it'll be Nicole Sardulich. The Rattlers, although they are the hosting team, a coin flip determined which team would be either home or away, and the Hilltoppers were the winners of that coin toss and elected to be the home team. And with that pitch called strike, this game begins. Both teams victorious on day number 1 yesterday. The Hilltoppers defeating the Dust Devils of Texas A&M International 9-0 in 5 innings. For St. Mary's, they were victorious in their matchup against the number 4 team, University of Texas Permian Basin. They won 2-0 on a one-hit shutout, complete game pitched by the Rattler ace, Emily Britton, who will be starting for the Rattlers in this ball game. In the circle for the Hilltoppers is Caitlin Klug. She has a 14-10 record with a 3.07 ERA to go along with 74 strikeouts on the season. She is facing Nicole Sardulich, who has had a stellar season, batting .408 in 56 games started, as Sardulich grounds that one right to second. There to make the play is Olsen for the first out of the ball game.
That's going to bring up center fielder number 4, Katie Nichols.
And batting next will be Katie Nichols. Nichols making her first start in 15, for the first time in 15 games. Katie Nichols is making a start, reassuming her role as the second hitter on this Rattler lineup as she takes the first pitch for a called ball. We saw a little bit of Katie Nichols yesterday in a pinch hit appearance. She was able to single her only time at the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Klug, and that one just misses the outside corner for ball number 2. Let's meet the defensive lineup for the St. Edward's Hilltoppers. Over at left field, it's Mayfield, Irvin at center, Witten over at right field, Broad over at third base, Lucas at short, Olsen at second, and covering the first base side is Carney, and doing the catching will be Bogart. Two and one now, the count to Nichols. And that one swung on and fouled away, and that'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The winner of this game will advance to the championship game tomorrow at noon. as Nichols grounds that one right back to Klug, and she's able to make the play for the second out of the inning. The loser of this game will play later on today at 5 p.m. against the winner of the UTPB Texas A&M International matchup, which will happen at 2 p.m. approximately following this game. And now at the plate for the Rattlers is Taylor Vidrine. Vidrine takes that pitch for ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Klug, and that one just missing for ball one. The count now 2-1. Vidrine on the season batting .310 to go along with 27 RBIs and 4 home runs. And that one hit sharply to second. A diving effort there by Olsen, able to make the play for the third and final out of the inning. And with that, the Rattlers go 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the first inning. We head to the bottom of the first. St. Edward's due up as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the first inning about to get started. It'll be Bria Witten leading off for the Hilltoppers.
Right fielder number 5, Bria Witten.
Witten batting .336 on the season with 8 RBIs, making her 40th start of the season as the first pitch from Emily Britton is outside for ball one. Emily Britton, a 3-time Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year award winner. She's able to get that pitch in there for a called strike one. 1-1 now the count to Witten. Britton in her senior year has had another terrific year with a 2.01 ERA as Witten grounds that one to Richter over at first, who takes it to the bag herself for the first out of the inning. Britain, a 2.01 ERA with a 25-6 record to go along with 82 strikeouts. Impressive numbers for the senior from Corpus Christi, Texas, as her first pitch is off the plate, 1-0. Now the count as Britain's pitch runs a bit outside to Olsen. Casey Olsen, a .215 hitter on the season with 12 RBIs. Hits that one to second. There to make the play is Villa. And quickly, that's 2 away now. Let's meet the defensive lineup for the St. Mary's Rattlers. Over at left field is Taylor Vidrine. At center is Katie Nichols. Elena Moreno over at right field. The infield the same as it has been for the season for the Rattlers. Sardelich over at third, Medina and Villa covering the middle. Richter over at first, and doing the catching is Alex Rodriguez. And the count goes to 0-1 on Mayfield. And that off-speed pitch missing the plate, and it evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. In that one-hit outing that Emily Britton had yesterday, she had every pitch going her way virtually, especially that off-speed breaking ball that fooled hitters, as right there, a 2-out single for Mayfield keeps the inning alive for the Hilltoppers. St. Mary's, the number 15 ranked team in the nation. As we mentioned, the number 1 seed in the Heartland Conference tournament. The Rattlers come into today with a 44-12 record. They finished the season with an 18-5 record in conference play. Now at the plate is Kendall Lucas, a senior from Round Rock, Texas. The 0-1 pitch hit back up the middle to Britton. Medina there to make the play to get the force out at second, and that will do it for the inning. The Hilltoppers able to get a hit on the board but are unable to score. We're still early in this ball game as we head to the top of the second inning. 0-0 the score. Rattlers due up next right here on the Rattler Network.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second inning about to get started. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up this inning for the Rattlers. It'll be Haley Richter to lead off.
And as we go to the top of the second, leading off for the Rattlers, the first base number 30, Haley Richter.
Richter, a stellar season, batting .335 with 7 home runs and a team high of 55 RBIs. Richter seeing her first pitches of the ball game, and that one in there for strike one. The 0-1 pitch from Klug, just missing outside, bringing the count even to 1 ball and 1 strike. In the last half of the inning, we mentioned the Rattlers, the #1 team in the Heartland Conference. The Hilltoppers, the #2 team in the Heartland Conference. They finished the year with a 31-22 record. 14-10 in the Heartland Conference as Richter is retired for the first out of the inning. And now at the plate is freshman Reagan Patterson. Patterson takes the first pitch for ball 1. It looks like the strike zone being called a little tight this morning, as Klug has been trying to paint the outside corner, but has been missing. As the 1-0 pitch from Klug is in there for called strike one. 1-1 now the count to Reagan Patterson, who yesterday was the difference in the ball game in the bottom of the first inning against the Falcons of UTPB. Had a 2 RBI double that ultimately was the difference. Rattlers victorious 2-0 as the count moves to 2-1 now. Klug winds up and throws. That one misses inside. 3-1 now the count to Patterson. On deck is Amanda Villa. And Patterson able to draw the 1-out walk here in the top of the second inning. And time is called. And it looks like there will be a pinch runner for Reagan Patterson. Pinch running will be Leanne Campos.
Attention now, coming in to run at first base for St. Mary's University, the number 21, Leanne Campos. The batter is the second baseman, number 3, Amanda Villa.
Campos over at first now for the Rattlers, has great speed. Normally put in these situations to run for the Rattlers. A sophomore from San Antonio, a graduate of Antonian High School, as the first pitch to Amanda Villa is in there for strike one. At the plate is second baseman Amanda Villa, a junior from San Antonio Harlandale, as she lays down a bunt, and that will advance Campos over to second. So the sac bunt recorded by Villa, and that'll bring up Alex Rodriguez to the plate.
The catcher, number 22, Alex Rodriguez.
Rattlers have a runner in scoring position. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Here's the pitch from Klug, and that one low for ball 1. A-Rod this season, a .293 hitter with 26 RBIs and a team-high 8 home runs. Impressive numbers for Rodriguez, who this season has taken on the role as everyday catcher for the St. Mary's Rattlers as she takes that pitch outside for ball number 2. Rodriguez, a sophomore from Eagle Pass, Texas, looking to get St. Mary's on the board here in the second inning. Campos over at second. The 2-0 pitch swung on and hit hard to left field. That one is high and far and gone. A 2-run blast for Alex Rodriguez, putting St. Mary's on the board here early in the ball game. The 9th home run of the year for the sophomore from Eagle Pass, Texas, and she has given the Rattlers the 2-0 lead.
Rodriguez with a 2-run shot to put the Rattlers on the board.
And the Rattlers strike first here in the ball game. Miranda Medina now stepping up to the plate, and Alex Rodriguez got a hold of one and drilled it over the left field fence, and the Rattlers lead 2-0 as Medina takes that first pitch for called strike 1. And with that home run by Rodriguez, it is the 13th home run allowed by Caitlin Klug this season. And so now the count 1-1 to Medina. Medina, a freshman from San Antonio. The count goes to 1-2 now. Medina, in her first year in Rattler colors, has done a tremendous job playing shortstop as she shows bunt here and slaps at one, which is hit right back to Klug, and she's able to throw it over to first in time for the final out of the inning. However, the Rattlers able to strike first off a 2-run blast from Alex Rodriguez. The Rattlers lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. St. Edward's due up next as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network.
So much to celebrate in Division II. We're especially proud of our commitment to make a win.
Division II student athletes led a 10 initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $1 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back, everybody. The bottom of the second about to get started. It'll be Mayfield, Broad, and Kearney due up this inning for the Hilltoppers. Alex Mayfield. Excuse me, it is Emily Mayfield at the plate. Emily, a .285 hitter with 25 RBIs, making her 53rd start of the season. The count 0-1. And that pitch just missing from Britton, and it evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Emily Mayfield, a graduate from Westwood High School over in Austin, Texas. She grounds that one ashort, and Medina there to make the play for the first out of this inning. That'll bring up Lauren Broad to the plate, a senior from Splendora, Texas. Has started 52 games this season for the Hilltoppers, batting .279. And the first pitch from Britton paints the outside corner for a called strike one. And the thing that St. Mary's has done so well is once they get a lead early, they are very hard to beat, especially with a pitcher like Emily Britton in the circle. It is usually hard to get St. Mary's off track, as their 44-12 record reflects, as that pitch swung on and missed for strike number 2. And Lauren Broad will need to do some work to stay alive in this at-bat. The 1-2 pitch from Britton outside, and that evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch from Emily swung on and hit right back up the middle. Britton able to stretch and throw over to first in time for out number 2. This game, a rivalry game. Battle of the Saints, St. Edward's versus St. Mary's. The last time these two teams met was in the regular season finale for the St. Mary's Rattlers. St. Mary's unable to come out victorious, as Medina able to make the throw for the final out of the inning. So St. Edward's goes 3 up, 3 down as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. St. Mary's leading 2-0 as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The top of the third inning about to get started. Leading off for the Rattlers this inning is Elena Moreno. The 9-1 and 2 hitters due up this inning for St. Mary's. Moreno, a freshman from Pearland, Texas, takes the first pitch for ball number 1. Moreno making her 4th start of the season, batting .222 with an RBI to her name, as she holds up on that pitch, and that'll bring the count to 2-0. As Caitlin Klug falls behind. Klug sets and delivers. And that one in there for strike 1. 2-1 now the count. As mentioned prior to the break, the last time these two teams matched up, St. Edward's was victorious. As Moreno slaps that one over to short, and she's able to beat out the throw from Lucas, who bobbled it initially. Good hustle there by Moreno, able to get the leadoff single to start off the third inning. St. Edward's swept the 3-game set over in Austin, Texas against the St. Mary's Rattlers to conclude the Rattlers season prior to the Heartland Conference tournament. Sardelich showing bunt, and that one fouled, and the count will go to 0-1. Sardelich 0 for 1 this morning. And here's the pitch. Sardelich once again showing bunt. She pulls back, and it'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Sardelich, one of the players playing here today that was named to the Heartland Conference first team. The 1-1 pitch, it is bunted and in play, as Sardelich able to record the sacrifice bunt, moving Moreno over to second in scoring position for Katie Nichols. For the Rattlers, Emily Britton, Nicole Sardelich, and Viana Gutierrez earned first team honors in the Heartland Conference tournament. Head coach Donna Fields was named Heartland Conference Coach of the Year for the 10th time. This the 4th consecutive season she's won that honor. Nichols takes the first pitch for ball 1. St. Edward's, their shortstop Kendall Lucas, was named Heartland Conference Player of the Year with a .394 batting average to go along with 33 RBIs and 33 runs scored. St. Edward's, their pitcher Sarah DeBrow, won Pitcher of the Year with a 17-10 record. She was victorious yesterday against the Dust Devils of Texas A&M International. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Nichols, and that one outside for ball number 3. .30 pitch, and that one high and inside, and Nichols reaches first on a 4-pitch walk, and so now that'll bring Taylor Vidrine to the plate, but not before a timeout is called on the field. There are Rattlers on first and second with only 1 out, and Taylor Vidrine at the plate. We remind all of you to check us out on social media. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, however. Facebook.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at St. Mary's Rattlers. And for the replays of the games in the Heartland Conference tournament that are being played, check out youtube.com/St. Mary's Rattlers for complete game replays. And for all your information on the Heartland Conference tournament and all things St. Mary's sports, log on to rattlerathletics.com. Taylor Vidrine at the plate. 0 for 1 so far this morning. As the first pitch from Klug, just missing outside, ball 1, and that is the 5th straight ball delivered by Klug, who has seemed to struggle with her location this inning. The 1-0 pitch to Vidrine is low for ball number 2. On deck for the Rattlers is Haley Richter. Here's the pitch from Klug, and that one swung on and hit right back up the middle, and that's a base hit, and runners will hold, and that'll be a 1-out single for Taylor Vidrine, as that'll be bases loaded for the big 3-0 Haley Richter. And St. Mary's are threatening here in the top of the 3rd inning. Richter 0 for 1 this morning, but as we mentioned earlier, has 55 RBIs. She is just the person you want if you're St. Mary's to be at the plate in this situation. Infield playing in for the Hilltoppers. First pitch misses outside. Correction, that one catching a portion of the outside part of the plate, and that'll be strike number 1. The 0-1 pitch from Klug misses outside. 1-1 now the count to Haley Richter. Klug steps back on the rubber as she sets and delivers. That one hit down the line and left, and that will score at least 2 as Vidrine hustles around, and that is a 2 RBI double for Haley Richter as the Rattlers double their lead. They lead 4-0 now. And that'll bring up Reagan Patterson. The Rattlers have runners in scoring position with only one out. And this, the second straight inning, the Rattlers have put a 2 spot on the board. And with that hit, Haley Richter now has 57 RBIs this season for the St. Mary's Rattlers, as it looks like a pitching change will be made here, as the Hilltoppers will try to keep this game as close as they can, trailing by 4 runs here in the top of the third with only one out. We'll take a quick break and then we'll tell you all about their new pitcher as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, everybody. We are still in the top of the third inning. Now pitching for the Hilltoppers is Sarah DeBro. And the first pitch to Reagan Patterson is in there for strike number 1. DeBro, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year this season, had a 17-10 record, as she quickly gets ahead in the count, 0-2. As we are now joined by the one and only Joe Rodriguez, who is fresh from class and has joined us here on this beautiful Friday morning here in the Alamo City. Joe, how's it going?
Well, it's going really great, I gotta tell you. I've had 2 great moments. You ever know that moment, as we see Patterson strike out right there, where you think something's gonna be bad and then you realize it's actually really, really good? I've had that twice today already. First, I came to my class, I had about 30 questions lined up about the final, make sure everything was good. Turns out the final not cumulative, just over one chapter, so feeling great. And then I was walking over here and I saw 2-0 on the scoreboard. The team on the top, the away team leading, so I was like, we're down early. But then turns out, as that one's lifted into left field and just foul and out of the reach of Mayfield. But turns out Rattlers, the away team in this affair, up 2-0 when I was walking over. And after that hard shot by Richter, now up 4-0. So Brian, what did I miss? If everyone's tuning in a little bit late, how'd the Rattlers get those 2 runs?
St. Mary's got a 2 spot on the board in the top of the second inning, courtesy of an A-bomb from A-Rod. And now Amanda Villa at the plate. She fouls that one back. 0-2 the count. And then, as you mentioned, Richter with a 2 RBI double. that scored 2 more runs, so St. Mary's now leading 4-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. And as you mentioned, when you were walking over here, it was quite odd seeing St. Mary's as the visiting team, this being their home field. A coin toss determined whether or not St. Mary's or St. Edward's would be the home team. St. Edward's, the winners of that coin toss, electing to be the home team. Now, what advantages does that give St. Edward's, and why would they make a decision to be the home team?
Oh, we usually want to be the home team. I mean, it basically sets it up so that you know what you need to do in the bottom of the innings. Plus, it also kind of just gives your pitcher a chance to get out there, get things out of the way, maybe calm a little bit of nerves before the other pitcher is able to. And Brian, we have ourselves quite a pitching matchup on our hands right now after this most recent pitching change from St. Edward's. DeBro out there, the Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year.
Indeed.
And she'll be facing off against 3-time Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year, Emily Britton now, as that one drills via.
And that'll load the bases once again. The second time this inning, the bases are loaded. And as you mentioned, DeBro, this year's Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year. And on the field now, as you mentioned, we have the last 4 Heartland Conference Pitchers of the Year on the field. Emily Britton winning the previous 3. And now Alex Rodriguez gets set to take on DeBro with the bases loaded. Rodriguez, as we mentioned earlier, homered her first time up, the 2-run blast off of the starting pitcher, Klug.
And how scary is this got to be if you're St. Edward's, already down 4-0, but then you have a batter who obviously already feeling good about herself in this game. Rodriguez now coming to the plate.
Rodriguez with now 9 home runs on the year, which is best on this St. Mary's team. She takes that pitch high and outside. 1-1 now the count. And if you're St. Mary's, this is a great situation to be in. You have a chance to really blow this game wide open and set yourself up nicely for the championship game tomorrow at noon. The loser of this game will take on the winner of the Texas A&M International and UTPB game later on today, as a crazy sequence of events leads to an RBI for Alex Rodriguez, and now the Rattlers lead 5-0.
We had to see Haley Richter kind of squirm out of the way of a tag attempted to be applied by Brody right there. But hey, everyone's safe, and Medina will now step in with the bases still full of Rattlers.
Medina 0 for 1 this morning. Takes the first pitch for a called strike 1.
Oh, I just recalled, and we were informed by our statistician, Chad Peters. DeBro and Britton, they actually shared the award last year, the Heartland Conference Pitcher of the Year award. So actually, I mean, these two have been competing against each other for quite a while. So DeBro, I mean, this is turning into quite a shape-up, quite a clash of titans in the Heartland Conference, if you will. It seems like it's always that way with St. Edward's and St. Mary's, the Battle of the Saints, we've dubbed it, I suppose. But always really great games between these two teams.
And time is called as Coach Fields will have a word with Medina. And this could quite possibly be a preview of the championship game tomorrow at noon. The winner advancing in this double elimination tournament tomorrow at noon. As I mentioned earlier, the loser will play the winner of the Texas A&M International and the UTPB game, which will occur at approximately 2 p.m. later on today.
Yeah, these two teams definitely the two to be looking out for as we've come into this Heartland Conference tournament. I mean, you just look at their record in conference play. If you combine their record, they're 32-15 in conference play. So these two teams, they've really run through just about everyone else in the regular season of the Heartland Conference.
1-2 the count. Medina showing bunt here. She pulls it back as that pitch low and inside, and that evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Medina battling back in this at-bat.
And she's really far up in the box right there. She's been showing bunt. She has good speed, but the thing about the bunt is that everyone would have to be safe at every base.
And that one painting the inside corner for a called strike 3. And that will do it for this half of the inning. St. Mary's leave the bases loaded, but not before they tack on 3 runs, adding to their lead. They now lead 5-0 against the Hilltoppers as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament exclusively here on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom of the 3rd inning about to get started. Leading off will be Bogart. And the first pitch is fouled away by Bogart. 0-1 now the count. And as we saw in the last half of an inning, the Rattlers able to put 3 runs on the board as Bogart able to hold up on that breaking ball from Britton. 1-1 now the count.
It'll be the bottom 3rd of the batting order due up this inning. Bogart, Irvin, Klug all due up. 1-1 the count. Here's Britton. Just out of the zone was that one. 2-1.
And if you're St. Mary's, you have a 5-run lead with Emily Britton pitching. How much comfort do you have knowing that you're playing against the number 2 team in the Heartland Conference?
You really don't have any. I mean, St. Edward's has proven themselves this entire year. They have some very good bats of their own. I don't have the statistics right in front of me. My computer died, so I believe they have several girls with batting averages that are very, very high and very impressive. And I mean, St. Edward's has proven in both their softball and baseball programs to be formidable. As that one shot over to Sartowich, she makes the play, and that'll do it for the first out of the inning. But you do have Emily Britton out there. That can always be a great equalizer if you're a Rattler.
And with that, that'll bring up Irvin to the plate. Sydney Irvin from Kyle, Texas, a sophomore. Yeah, takes the first pitch from Britton outside for ball number 1.
If you're a Hilltopper fan, you're at that point in the game where you're trying to just have your team hopefully produce 1 run per an inning. That should be your goal from here on out. I mean, it's tough to do against Britton, but they do have their ace DeBro out there now, so presumably they'll start doing better in that department. And if they're able to produce 1 run per inning, they'll be able to tie it up in the bottom of the 7th. And who knows, one of those innings they could break it out and score multiple runs, of course. But right now, they just need to try to get someone on base right here.
And that pitch in there for a called strike 1. 2-1 now the count to Sydney Irvin.
Britton stepping back on that rubber.
And Britton usually good at getting that pitch in there for first pitch strike, as she misses with that one. 3-1 now the count. And normally, what is your mindset as a pitcher when you fall behind in the count?
Well, the thing is, you don't want to be predictable more than anything else. That's the thing that a lot of pitchers do. They make the mistake of being predictable with their stuff. Once they've fallen behind in the count, they start throwing fastballs. But with Britton, she'll sometimes go to her off-speed stuff, although she does have that very good fastball. As we see the walk drawn there by Irvin, and now Klug will come to the plate.
It'll be Bria Witten at the plate. And first pitch swung on and hit to Villa at second, and oh, the diving attempt not successful, and Irvin will advance to third on the play.
And what a great time for a hit and run right there. You got a slap bunter up at the plate, so contact hitter. The runner goes, and you saw Villa start to break towards second base. And if you have a slap bunter and Villa having to readjust, she's going to be safe every single time at first. And then a bit of a bobble over there. Difficulty on the exchange between Villa and Richter allowed the runner to go all the way on to third, and now runners on the corners for the Hilltoppers.
And as you mentioned, Villa was running over to second, trying to cover the bag from the stealing runner Irvin, and great effort by Villa. That ball could have easily gone to the outfield, but she was able to redirect her positioning, able to get the ball. As you mentioned, however, the exchange between her and Richter was unsuccessful, and now runners at the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Olsen at the plate, as Olsen slaps that one softly over to third. An easy play for Sartowich to make, and just like that, there are now 2 outs with Mayfield at the plate. Mayfield 1 for 1.
And Sartowich, she's been a little bit busy this inning. Two balls hit over to her there at third base, 2 away.
And Alex Mayfield singled her first time at the plate. Here's the pitch from Britton, and that one misses outside, ball 1. And one thing that Emily Britton has done terrifically throughout her entire Rattler career has been her location. She's been able to locate the ball almost at will at times, and she especially loves to place the ball on the outside corner, making it difficult for pitchers to get a hold of one.
She's very good at hitting that outside corner, especially with her changeup that she'll come with it, and it's just very, very wicked and hard to handle, especially when you got someone who has a slap bunting stance up there at the plate, because it throws your timing off tremendously.
And that pitch just missing. And that'll bring the count to 2-1.
Another thing we should mention about the St. Edward's lineup that makes them pretty scary, they got those left-handed bats, and in softball it makes a huge difference because you're able to get out of the box so much faster. And anytime you can put pressure of any kind against your opponent, it's always a plus.
Time is called as Coach Fields will head out and talk with her infield. And as we mentioned, the outside pitches, the pitches that paint the outside corner, Britain this season has only allowed 6 home runs this season, which is an astonishing feat considering the fact that her and the entire Rattler pitching staff has only allowed 13 this entire season.
I mean, we've mentioned the Big Three several times about this Rattler pitching staff, and it truly is that, and they're very effective, all of them, and very reliable.
Very reliable indeed.
Britain the count.
Britain behind in the count. Here's her delivery. That one hit sharply right between first and second, and that will be the first run scored of the ball game for the Hilltoppers. And credit Mayfield with the RBI single here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and now that'll be runners at the corners for Lucas. Kendall Lucas, the Heartland Conference Player of the Year, finished the year with a .394 batting average in a prime spot. However, she grounds that one over to Medina at short in time for out number 3. The Hilltoppers, though, are able to get on the board. They cut into this Rattler lead. They trail 5-1 as we head to the 4th inning. St. Mary's due up next. Stay tuned. You're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The top of the fourth inning about to get started. Brian Maglione, Joe Rodriguez with you. The 9-1 and 2 hitters due up for St. Mary's as that one hit high and far to right field. Moreno, and that'll be extra bases for Elena Moreno to lead off this fourth inning for the St. Mary's Rattlers. A great way to start the inning, and good job by the freshman from Pearland, Texas, able to get the leadoff double.
I think they're going to charge an air to Witten right there, and that's a tough play to make right there. You're going back, you're having to redirect. Moreno, though, she put a pretty good charge in that one. If the wind wasn't blowing straight in, then perhaps she would have had a shot at homer, but of course, just as I say that, the wind decides to blow straight out, so it's difficult conditions to field out there. I can tell you by walking over to the field, it's quite swirling, and then the clouds can make it difficult to pick up the ball as well, so tough conditions here today as Sardulich now steps to the plate.
Sardulich 0 for 1. Recorded a sacrifice bunt her last time at the plate.
This is a good position to be in if you're a Rattler fan. A runner already in scoring position, top of your order coming up.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Sarah DeBro, and that one misses high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Nicole Sardulich, the 2013 Heartland Conference Player of the Year.
Here's DeBro.
The 1-1 pitch, off speed in there for strike number 2. Beautifully done by Sarah DeBro.
That's a tough pitch, especially in that count. You usually see that pitch thrown as kind of out pitch, try to go on ahead and throw that one when there's 2 strikes in a count, but DeBro firing that one off in a 1-1 count.
The count now 1-2 to Sardulich. The delivery high, and that evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nicole Sardulich has 34 RBIs to go along with 3 home runs this season. A runner in scoring position with nobody out. St. Mary's looking to score for the 3rd consecutive inning, as that one lofted over to right. Tagging up is Moreno, as she will think otherwise, and the ball gets away. Moreno sliding to third, and she is tagged out. And much to the displeasure of Coach Fields. And so a double play and just some bad base running on that sequence by Moreno, who initially tagged up, thought otherwise. The ball gets away from the infield, and then she decides to run, and she is tagged out over at third. So
that's just something that we like to call a freshman mistake. And the mistake isn't running and trying to take the bag right there in that situation. The mistake is the hesitation. She hesitated twice in that one play alone. She had another hesitation when she had hit the ball, and that's just something that'll come with experience and with time. Moreno, she's only started to really step up for this Rattler team and towards the latter stages of the season, but that hesitation is it's really the difference in games such as these.
And speaking of experience, now at the plate is Katie Nichols, a senior this season, 0 for 1 so far. Nichols making her first start of the Heartland Conference tournament, first start in about 14 or 15 games as she hits that one high into shallow right center. And there to make the play is Irvin for the final out of the inning. So 3 Rattlers go up and 3 of them go down as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. St. Mary's leads 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Hilltoppers have some work to do as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here exclusively on the Rattler Network.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II. We're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes led a 10 initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $1 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom of the 4th inning about to get started. Brian Maglione, Joe Rodriguez here with you. The 5, 6, 7 hitters are due up this inning for the Hilltoppers. Leading off is Emily Mayfield. Emily is 0 for 1 so far as she swings at the first pitch from Britton, and it was fouled off her foot. However, good job by Alex Rodriguez and Nicole Sardelich playing through the whistle as...
Yeah, playing until you hear the call.
And the count will be at 0-1 as it looks like the umpires are discussing something. And they're getting something straightened out, and it looks like everything is all right.
I think Nicole might have had something also. But the thing is, if Nicole wants to say something, she's going to have to say it through that mouth guard over there at third base.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one lofted over to center, and there to make the play is Katie Nichols for the first out of the inning. And that's 1 away now for Brode. Brode 0 for 1. Brode, the third baseman for the Hilltoppers.
.279 average coming into play today.
Oh, that breaking ball just misses.
Yeah.
1-0. And if you're Emily Britton, how do you follow up a one-hit shutout yesterday with a performance like this? How would you rate her performance thus far?
Well, she's been very good so far. She's limited base runners, and when she's had base runners, she's only slipped up once and allowed the 1 runs across the plate. So Emily, she's been very good.
As that one grounded over to Via, and she makes the play for the second out of the inning.
But the thing is, for Emily, she needs to realize that now's not the time to be too perfect. She does have that 4-run cushion as of right now, so she just needs to go on ahead, throw good stuff, trust the fielders behind her, and at the same time, try to keep St. Edward's down and not give them anything to cheer about, because momentum in these tournament games especially can be huge.
First pitch from Britton outside for ball number 1. At the plate is Carney. Carney 0 for 1. Katie Carney, a junior from Ledbetter, Texas. Attended Blinn Junior College.
Blinn, of course, right next to, or in College Station, I believe.
Right next to Texas A&M University.
Kind of a trend that we see, something very much in common between the St. Edward's and St. Mary's team. A lot of experience between these two ball clubs. You're going to see a lot of juniors and seniors in here playing today, and of course the occasional freshman sensation for both squads as well. But for the most part, it's a lot of experience up there at the plate and in there in the circle at all times.
The 2-1 pitch from Britton, a breaking ball, misses for ball number 3. 3-1 now the count.
Emily's either just missing with that breaking ball or not getting the call. It's very close, but I believe it's just dying before it gets to the plate, so it's not getting in the zone.
And that one misses just outside, and you can tell Emily wanted that one. Nonetheless, a 2-out walk is assessed to Katie Carney, and that'll bring up Bogart to the plate. Marissa Bogart, a junior from Kempner, Texas.
0 for 1 on the day.
So a runner over at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Is that one out of the zone? 1-0.
You're watching the St. Mary's Rattlers versus the St. Edward's Hilltoppers in the first game of day number 2 of the Heartland Conference Tournament. Both teams victorious in their first games yesterday afternoon. St. Edward's winning against Texas A&M International 9-0 in 5 innings. St. Mary's in the nightcap was victorious, winning 2-0 against the Falcons of UTPB off a 1-hit complete game shutout from Emily Britton, who so far this morning has only allowed 1 run on 3 hits as they switch softballs, and the count 2-1 to Marissa Bogart.
Emily, by the way, picking up what was her 25th win on the year on that game.
Bogart hits that one over to Sartlich. Her throw over to Richter at first in time for the 3rd and final out of the inning. Hilltoppers leave a runner on base and are unable to score. The score remains 5-1 St. Mary's as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Rattlers due up next following this quick break. You're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament right here on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The top of the 5th inning about to get started. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters are due up this half inning for the St. Mary's Rattlers. Leading off is the left fielder Taylor Vadrine. Vadrine takes the first pitch from DeBro for a called strike 1.
I gotta tell you, this is a good matchup right here, DeBro versus Vadrine. And these two know each other very well also.
Vadrine hits that one softly over to second, and a great diving catch by the second baseman Olson for the first out of the inning. Oh, great effort there by Olson, able to rob Vadrine of a base hit. Casey Olson, a sophomore from Elgin, Texas, displaying the athleticism and flashing the leather as Haley Richter steps up to the plate now.
That was an awesome play there by Olson. That's not one you can really practice. You just got to be able to do it.
First pitch, a breaking ball in there for strike number 1. Richter, her last time up, ripped a shot down the left field line and was able to get a 2 RBI double. And Richter pops that one up high, but not far, and there to make the play is the shortstop Lucas for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Reagan Patterson to the plate. And for the last inning or so, 2 1/3 innings, DeBro has done a good job of keeping these Rattler batters at bay.
Yeah, I tell you, DeBro, she comes with some good power stuff. That first pitch we saw to Richter, that breaking ball, and that was ridiculous right there. It's one of the reasons why she's entering play today with 180 strikeouts on the season. It's a staggering number right there. So that one's inside. Good try of framing it by Bogart right there, but it'll be 1-1. I tell you what, Brian, I can appreciate a good frame. I was a catcher back in my day, so very much so a fan of the frame.
1-1 now the count to Reagan Patterson, who swings and misses at that one. 1-2 now the count.
No frame needed right there.
Reagan 0 for 1. And she struck out her first time facing DeBro. And as you mentioned, DeBro with over 180 strikeouts as Patterson slaps that one right back to the pitcher, who flips it over to first for the final out of the inning. And so a quick 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 5th. We head to the bottom half with St. Mary's leading 5-1 over the Hilltoppers. You're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament exclusively here on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom of the 5th inning about to get started. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up this inning for the Hilltoppers. Brian Magliuan and Joe Rodriguez alongside me, bringing you the first game of day number 2 here in the Heartland Conference Tournament, which is being played on this beautiful new park at St. Mary's University. The inaugural season of this new sporting complex, the softball stadium, just one of the many new facilities being used here on the campus of St. Mary's University, as Medina able to field that one and throw it over to first in time for out number 1.
And Medina making that one look easy, but that's actually a real tough play to make. I mean, you have to get that quick transfer, the strong throw, accurate. It's tough to do, but again, Medina making it look simple. Here comes Witten now to the plate. That one out of the zone. The appeal down to third. She go. Looks like she did not. I'd say that's the right call from our vantage point.
Agreed. And as we see this game progress towards its later stages, time is not an ally for the St. Edwards Hilltoppers, who are trailing by 4 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
It's not so much time as it is the amount of outs they have left.
Time and outs.
Yeah.
As the count moves to 3-0.
I believe it was Mickey Mantle who once said, in football, basketball, you can just go on ahead, you know, play a little scared, run out the clock, but in baseball, or in this case softball, eventually you're going to have to throw a strike to the person. So still opportunity here for the Hilltoppers.
And Britton able to find the plate on that one. 3-1 now the count. And here's the delivery from Emily, and that one runs high and inside for ball number 4. A 1-out walk assessed to Witten. And as I alluded to earlier, this Heartland Conference tournament being played inside this brand new softball stadium here on the campus of St. Mary's University. Just a beautiful facility and a great way to conclude this inaugural season.
It really is a beautiful park out here, the softball field. Part of the park at St. Mary's. It's really just wonderful to have the park out here on campus. Want to know it? If you haven't gotten to experience the park yet, it is the weekend and just a short drive from Austin if you want to head on down for Championship Sunday, if the seeds do hold true.
Or in this case, Championship Saturday.
Oh yeah, Saturday, I beg your pardon.
St. Mary's University also hosting the women's tennis regional.
Yes, they are.
And that will be this Sunday. For more information, log on to rattlerathletics.com. And also, over at Dixon Stadium, the Rattler baseball team will be in action as they conclude their season, as they gear up for their Heartland Conference tournament appearance, which will be next week.
It'll be the final baseball series. It'll be the final baseball series of the season at home. I thought you were waving me off or something. Did you get a fly or something?
Yeah, there's a fly found its way into the press booth.
1-1 the count with 2 away here. Runner on second.
And that one slapped over to short. Medina unable to get to it. And that will score a run for the Hilltoppers.
Good piece of hitting there by Mayfield as Witten comes around to score.
A 2-out RBI single for Mayfield. And St. Edwards inching closer now. They trail by only 3 runs. As Lucas takes the plate.
Runner's going. There's a throw down to second. Sliding in safely is Mayfield. And she's pleased about that one. Fist pump the air.
Beautifully done by Mayfield on that play.
Now a single will presumably score her.
And with that stolen base, that is Emily Mayfield's 10th on the year. As the count draws even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Britton, and that one just missing. 2-1 now the count.
Here's Britton with the delivery.
And that one hit over to Sartalich at third. And Nicole making the play to her left, able to make the throw in time for out number 3. The Hilltoppers, however, inch closer. They trail by only 3 runs now as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Rattlers due up as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament exclusively here on the Rattler Network.